What up, everybody? You already know Sly K Loco, right here for another episode of CannaConvos with Angie High in Paradise, right here. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Great, man. I'm just chilling. So sorry that we had to reschedule and I didn't get you on sooner. I should have had
No
you on a long
worries.
time ago.
No worries at all.
All right, good. So, for those who don't know, this is Angie High in Paradise. Like I said, she is a grower on Instagram and she's been killing it for a minute. I was looking down on your page and you're just beautiful plants, man. You're just so good at what you do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're going to be, I'm not always good, but I think no matter what you love, you're going to do it well, if you love it.
Yeah, that's true. And if you got the passion is one thing that just shows in your plants, right?
Thank you.
Um, so everybody make sure to go give her a follow. I'll be tagging her at the end of this. I'll be putting it onto YouTube so everybody can go find her, find her page, and show her some love. So let's get into some questions, huh?
All right. I'm ready.
All right. So my first question, which I always ask everybody, is how did you come up with your name?
Oh, well, okay. So the truth of it is that I live in a town called Paradise and I'm high.
Oh, wow, that's so cool. What is paradise? That is so cool, man. I would love to live in paradise. So when you
So you can say that. I don't, we have one hairdresser and I think that's our only business in this whole town. So
really
we might have a post office again, but it was taken away for a bit. So yeah, it's I've got cows and horses as neighbors.
nice. I came from a really small town, and all we had was a post office. We had one stoplight, not even a stoplight. It was one of the blinky lights. So
We
I
don't
know
have
about the.
one of those.
You don't even have a blinky light? Oh, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who know how that is. Sometimes that's a blessing and a curse. I like to think about it because my sister lives somewhere like that, and I like to say like if the apocalypse or the zombies came, they would never get to you guys. So
There's that for
there's a
sure.
plus. So when you say just another day in paradise, it's really just another day in
It's
paradise.
really just another day in paradise.
That's so cool. So how long have you been growing for?
Oh my goodness. So I think was legalization. I think was 2017 in Canada, and I'd probably been growing for a couple years before that, just dabbling a little bit. But when legalization hit, we went full force. My husband helps. Okay, he does a lot of it, like a lot of the outdoor growing part. He's part of it, little
Little
part.
part?
But yeah, we've been growing. The indoor grows are all on me, but the outdoor I do get help with. And yeah, so I said about 2017, like full force on it.
Okay, does I'd imagine the outdoor grows are bigger than the indoor, right? Like
Yes.
so that's probably why he's taking over because a little bit more work to go to it. Not saying that you can't do the work, but it gets
I
tough out
think
there.
he, sorry, I think he thought he knew more than me, but then I started Instagram and I don't know, him and I can argue about this.
All day long. He was like, "No, I know more than you." No, you don't. Yeah, my wife was helping me start. She actually got me into this. Well, I asked her at the time I didn't have a job, so I was like, "Babe, if you give me this weed thing, I promise you I'll make enough weed for everybody." Like, and she
Love
was like,
it.
"All right." And then, yeah, turned out I kind of pushed her out of it, and I haven't had her in her yet. But she
That's
has. I made her own flower bed and everything for her, so yeah, she's getting
lovely.
out there. That's good.
Good.
So I wanted to ask, what kind of lights do you have? Are you using
Okay.
in stands?
I have used something called Grow Wealth since I've started growing. And the reason this happened is because when I first started, this company called Grow Wealth reached out to me. I was new. I just came here really to show my plants. I didn't even have another Instagram account before this one.
Okay.
And then they offered me to try out their lights. And I was really nervous about it, but I'm like, yeah, sure, send me some lights. And since then, they'd sent me like 4 sets of different lights to try, but
Really?
I don't think the company's around anymore.
Because I was
But I've
looking.
had, yeah,
Yeah, I was looking at that light, and it kind of looked like a Mars Hydro light almost. It has like the hood, right?
right.
And that's like a light for a 3x3 tent, right? Or is it a 4x4?
4x4.
4x4. Okay, all right. Do you know what happened to the company? They just went out, huh? They
Nope.
probably, you know what usually happens is companies will get bought out by other companies and they'll just merge. So maybe they might have merged or they might have just closed down, which is crazy because there's like so many grow lights nowadays and
Yes.
so many companies. I mean, High Photon Flux got a hold of me kind of the same way that they did with you. I was barely starting to grow or starting to go into Instagram because I had been growing for a couple of years, but I just like one day my friend was like, "You'd be really good for Instagram," and I was like, "You think so?" Because I didn't know social media. And sure enough, he was right. But they just got a hold of me and they sent me a light, so they're still out there. If anybody,
I lost audio.
second,
Nice backdrop.
thank you. My headphones. There we go.
Better.
That is weird, man. My headphones just like turn on and connect only when we're on this like a phone call. It's kind of weird. But anyways, so yeah, we'll get on to the next question, huh? I saw that you were using Rise nutrients.
Yes.
It's okay, so it is Rise. All right, I was trying to
Yes.
pronounce that right. And is that an A and B solution?
Yes.
Okay, and they're synthetic or is it organic? Could you?
God. Oh God. Don't ask me questions that I like get put on the spot. I really don't know.
Okay,
I've had good luck with them. I've got a big grow coming up. I'm going to be using air cubes by GrowAce
okay.
shortly, and I'm super excited. And I don't know what nutrients are going to be compatible and stuff, so I've got a lot of research to do right now on this. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a big change when you change nutrients, and you got to figure out how this other nutrient works, if it's organic or synthetic, because synthetics have more of a chance of overfeeding and salt buildup and all that kind of other stuff that comes with synthetics. So, but there are liquid or organic nutrients for anybody that didn't know that, and I think they work pretty good. I like it.
And well, I really like Rise. Yeah, every time I feed, I notice, you can see things overnight. It's like, oh my goodness, yeah. So I do like them, but I just don't know if they're compatible with a ebb and flow system yet. So I've
And
got
what
some
kind of flow
research to
system
do.
is that?
It's the air cubes by GrowAce.
I don't think
They're
I've
the
heard.
ones that you're seeing that are turquoise green that you might see popping up, and they come in multi units.
Is it a DWC? Is
What
it
does that mean?
it's deep water culture, which means with water, it's kind of like hydroponics.
Yes,
Okay, so it's a hydroponic system. Okay, all right,
yes,
good. Yeah.
yes.
So yeah, DWC, that's another like technical terms and shit. Like I barely even got turned on to it too. So don't I always said
Okay,
just hydroponics. I was like, it's fucking
exactly.
hydroponics, right? But I guess DWC, for those who don't know out there, there's DWC and there's RWC. So DWC is deep water culture and RWC is recirculating water culture. So one of them just has you just have the water with like an air stone that oxygenates it and the water just stays in there, and every once in a while you swap out the water and change it, right? That's DWC. And RWC is the system that I think you're talking about that has like some pots, and it has a pump that recirculates the water, and then so the water's just going in and out like that. I think that's
Yeah,
what
it takes it in and out. I think, yeah.
Yeah, you have a reservoir out here that you could kind of suck out the water. I'm not too sure because I haven't done it yet. And I'm a little intimidated because I hear that yeah, you too.
Oh God, yeah. Oh God, yeah.
I feel like that too because there's it's not as easy as soil, I would say. Um, but there are great rewards. They say with a little bit of risk, you get great rewards. You'll have faster plants, bigger nugs. I think it's because the plant gets to suck up the nutrients better. Um, but I still don't know. Like I said, I don't know too much about that. But
No, you're right though about the intimidation. It's it's a lot too. I've been just taking it in slowly and learning bits and pieces, and I've got a 5x5 set up upstairs with like my big light, and I'm just hoping to kill it. But I don't know. We'll see.
you might
I
though,
don't even know
because
what medium I'm growing in yet.
yeah, if it's the system that I'm thinking of, well, because there could be other systems. There's drip systems, like there's the blue mat system. Have you ever heard of those ones? Okay, the Blue Mass system is the one that I'm using for everybody out there. It is a carrot, which is like a clay carrot, and
I've heard you
so
talk about that.
all right, so you've heard a little bit. Some people have seen it too. It's very interesting. It turns out it's an old technology. It's a very ancient old technology that they're just like rebranded and put it to use with cannabis and other plants. But the carrot determines or tells if the soil's too dry. If it gets too dry, it'll start to drip and it'll keep it at um the right consistency that you want, which is fucking cool. So
Right.
cool. But what I did is I had 4 plants and they're in a 5 gallon buckets. Or yeah. They're in 5 gallon fabric pots and I have a 5 gallon reservoir, right? Well, that works if for a few days if you're here to top off the reservoir. Well, I went on vacation and I forgot to tell my kids to top off the reservoir, and boom,
Shoot.
it sucked up all the water. I came back and the plants are almost dead, and I'm like, no.
No.
So it turns out what had happened was the carrots dried out all the way, which messes up the whole system because you put the carrots together underwater and then you put it into the soil, right? So that tells the carrot, okay, you've got enough water in this. Now just keep the soil this consistency, right? Well, when the carrot dries out, it doesn't know how much to keep the water, so it just started spitting out the water once I put the water back in the reservoir, and it flooded the tank. I went back in today. Actually, today I just cleaned it out, and it was a fucking mess, guys.
Oh
It
no.
was a mess, but hey, there's learning curves, and there's new systems you have to learn. And I would not blame that on Blue Mat. I would not blame that on
Nope.
Blue Mat. I would say that is user error, right? Because you always got to put it in account. We got to figure it out. We just got to figure
Oh,
it out.
right.
Yeah,
If it's new, everything new you have to learn, right? And it's
yeah.
not always going to go great the first time, but it might the second. And if not the second, maybe the third.
And the fourth one's for sure.
It's for sure. After that, give up.
Yeah, after that, fuck it, all right, throw it away. No, I'm just kidding. So, the okay, and that is the AB solution you said, right? With the
Yes.
nutrients solution. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that might be a synthetic. I think, which is still totally cool. A lot of people, I just think it's amazing how many different nutrients there are out there
Yeah.
because there's like dry amendment, there's liquid amendment, organic, synthetics, and me, I don't just stick to one thing. I'll do like Mr. Grow it said. He said synganic. Synganic. There you go. I was like,
I
nice.
love it.
I was like, I like that.
Love
That's
it.
good. So I'll that's one of my questions right here. It was asking you, you're growing in soil right now, right?
Right.
Okay, and the other half of that question was, have you ever tried a DWC? But we already answered that question. You haven't tried it yet.
Coming up.
Yeah, it's coming
Not
up,
yet.
and
Right.
you're gonna be posting and making a bunch of videos about it, right?
For sure. I just don't know. I'd like to grow in clay pebbles right
Okay.
now. That's like because I just think they look pretty. I don't know. But I haven't decided yet. And then I priced them out around here, and I was like, oh my god, this is going to be a pricey grow just to get the medium. But
Yeah, it
uh,
will. It catches up to you real quick when you're like sitting there and you switch it up to do some new project or a new way of growing. The cost is one thing that we need to take into account there. Um, but what soil are you using right now?
so I use sorry, my telephone's ringing here. I'm using Fox Farm Happy Frog.
Okay, me too. Nice.
Are you really? Oh, that's
Yes.
awesome.
Hell yeah.
I've used it. I really use. I've used it forever. Even when I bring my plants out to the garden, I will buy 4 bags of Happy Frog just to fill the holes with that I put these in. So then they're kind of like, I guess it would be kind of like acclimated to their environment a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do trust that soil a lot.
Beautiful. Me too. I really dig that soil, and that's the only one that I've used. Are you reusing your soil?
No, I don't reuse my soil.
Okay, nice. I did that for a long time. I didn't reuse my soil. I would just go buy another bag, right? And then I was like, I saw that you could just amend it. You could just amend it with dry amendments and mycorrhiza and put all that stuff in the soil, and you could just let it cook. You put it in a container and you just let it sit there in a container for however long it takes you go and use it, and that actually makes a better soil. You could put worms in it, so some worms will stay in there and just keep on making worm casting, or you could just put worm casting in, mix it up, and cook it for a long time. And that's what I've been doing. So if you want to cut down a little bit of those costs, try to amend your soil and reuse it because it
To be
works.
honest, I think it's laziness on my part though, because a lot of the times I take my anything that's growing in the tin, I might end up bringing it outside,
Uh,
and then it doesn't winterize well in those bags, and then I'm just dump them. So I do kind of reuse the soil because I throw it into my garden, and if
yeah,
I'm emptying a pot out, it goes into my garden. So
yeah. No,
it
that's
seems to be
reusing it.
used again.
Yeah, that's
But
reusing it. So one year, I
yeah,
wanted to tell you, one year I left the bag of the soil outside, and over here where I'm at in Washington, it gets really cold, and so it got like negative something, and it froze, and it was just one solid fucking block of ice.
been there.
You've
Yeah,
been there, you know about that.
been
Oh,
there. Yeah,
Jesus!
absolutely.
I almost dropped that
Yeah.
on my foot.
I have a wood stove in the house. So what I did when I was starting this grow, the bags were frozen. I brought them in and threw them in front of the wood stove for like a few days, probably because the way of time I got around to it. But yeah, been
Yeah,
there.
it takes days for that to thaw out. I'm like, Jesus.
It really does. It was like a brick. Oh my god.
So what kind of
Ooh.
tents do you use?
Um, I think they're both Vivo Sun for some reason. I don't know where they came from or why I even have them. I ordered one online, like my most recent one, the 5x5. I ordered it online out of desperation for the light I was being sent. So I needed something to house a light. Um, but yeah, I haven't put too much thought into tents,
Okay. I
like as far
think
as choices.
I was looking at your tent, and I think it might be a Mars Hydro tent.
Oh, it's absolutely a Mars Hydro.
Okay,
You
all right.
freaking morons.
All right. I was thinking because I saw the colors. You could tell the different tents by the colors nowadays. Um,
Okay, that's good to know.
yeah, they got Vivo Sun has a lighter green.
Okay.
Mars Hydro has that dark green, that kind of teal color that you have. And then Gorilla tents have like a orange, almost yellow. Mars Hydro
Okay.
has orange. I mean, sorry, not Mars Hydro. Spider Farmer. They have
Yeah.
orange ones,
Okay.
and then yeah. So the tent game is crazy nowadays. Everybody's into it. AC Infinity has just black and gray, so that's a easy one to tell who it is. Um, and-
I've got one here and I've got one there, and I'm looking and I'm thinking this maybe there is one Vivo Sun somewhere in here. Well, I don't know why I'm thinking that, but I can't be imagining that.
well, I mean, and on top of it, Vivo Sun is one of the most affordable tents out there, or companies.
Yeah.
Period. The stuff that they sell is back in the day it wasn't that good quality, but nowadays they have definitely stepped it up. And I highly recommend everybody if you're starting out, go get some Vivo Sun stuff, and then move up to the AC Infinity. You already know, right?
It's whatever one I'm using right now, I really want to get a new floor for it. And I was searching online just to find a floor and I couldn't find one. I was a little disappointed actually.
yeah, that's
Gosh, I wish
one.
I remembered, yeah.
Yeah, that's one thing that I have not been able to find is like accessories or replacement
Right.
parts.
Right. Strange because the tent's fine. It's just the floor is worn and I'd like
Yeah,
to replace the floor.
huh? And that would only be like, I mean, if it to one of the companies, if they ever see this, they should just sell those, man. That's an extra $50 right there.
That's
So,
right.
yeah.
Yeah. No reason not to. Yeah.
Oh,
I
you
was
know
even
what?
looking at that materials to cut it myself, that,
The Mylar.
and like maybe just replace it. But yeah,
Yeah, that'd be cool if they did that. They should. We're gonna write a letter and make sure they do
good
that.
idea. Good
So,
idea.
how did the Rutin work out? Is it Rutin, Rootin?
I honestly only used it once.
Okay,
I don't want to ever diss a company when I don't know if I've made a mistake or not.
okay.
But the night after I gave it I gave my plants
The spray.
a foliar spray, and the next day I thought I had lost them all, and it looked like they were covered in, I don't know if it was not quite white powdery mildew, but like a gray powdery mildew almost. And I was like, had a near heart attack. I ended up rinsing them all, and they ended up being okay. But I think
Okay.
maybe it was just that, maybe it was the, it just settling into it or something, and I should have waited, but I was nervous. So
Yeah, I can imagine the
Yeah,
first time you seen that, it probably, it probably gave you anxiety, and you were like, "Oh my god, I gotta wash this off," right?
it did. Yeah, and I've heard other people have used it and love it. So it's definitely not them. It was just my little panic attack because I was having plants in a grow off and I was really nervous, about losing them. So that's all.
Yeah, that happens a lot too. One thing that I wanted to stress, I need to stress to all the viewers out here, you guys do not panic about, well, I shouldn't say do not. I should say it's hard not to because we all care about our plants a lot. So when we see things like that happen, we
Mhm.
automatically jump to, hey, I'm gonna like the best thing to go fix it or whatever it is. You know what I mean? Um, it is very hard not to panic. Yeah, I've panicked
It
many
is
times.
really hard.
Yeah.
Well, last in the garden in the summer, I had four plants. I lost two to they were both two were hermaphrodites, and the remaining two got white powdery mildew, septoria, and botrytis. Like it was just a horrible, horrible grow year for me last summer, and
What's
I'm hoping I have a redemption.
what's Soteria and the other thing?
Oh, septoria, and botrytis, like bud rot, just like
Oh,
severe bud rot,
oh,
severe, severe. It was so bad, and it was a really bad grow year. And I heard septoria. I think I might not even be pronouncing that right, but I think it happens in the soil. So this year, what I might do is put a cover on like on top of my soil, like a black, like a plant barrier or whatever,
yeah, the
and
fabric
maybe
barrier.
cover it. Yeah, so then the soil can't touch the leaves because I guess that's how it's transmitted. So I might do that as a precaution
Nice.
because that was heartbreaking. Heartbreaking.
I know it
Getting back
is.
to I gotta worry a little bit when something goes wrong. Yeah, I panic. Yeah.
Yes, and I I totally understand it, man. I did too. I panicked very bad when I my first outdoor grow because I've only outdoor grown once. But I got a lot of bud, and so there was a little bit of bud rot on it, and I just had to throw away 6 ounces, and that just fucking that was devastating. I couldn't
It
even do
hurt.
it. I had to have
Yeah.
my son do it because I could not fucking throw away that much weed.
Love it. Yeah.
He was like,
Yeah.
He was like, "Really, Dad? Just throw it away?" I'm like, "Yes, just do it, son. Just don't let me see." And he just
Yeah.
went out and he fucking came back so quick, and I was like, "Oh, you're so cold hearted. You're just you're such a savage." He's like,
You were supposed to like talk to it first and
"Yes,
thank it for its sacrifice, and I apologize.
you're supposed to hesitate a little bit before you throw it out." But no, you just
Right.
such a beast.
Oh, that's funny. It's hard.
Okay, so the rootin, all right. So I saw that you had oh yeah, you had such a good root system going on the I don't know what plant that was where you had the root system that was going through the pot, through the fabric pot.
Oh yeah, that's a that's a one of my Atlas seeds. Atlas, it's a crazy train.
There you go. I had
It's
it written down here somewhere.
I love her. She's just, and I noticed that in your tent too, that you've got like different shapes, like your leaves are different shapes. You must have a few different strains going
Yeah,
on. But it's so neat to see like I've got like two Atlas growing in there, and side by side they're so very different. But
yeah,
the roots are like that on all my plants right now. It's crazy how good
really.
they're doing.
Well, that's a
I'm really
beautiful root
impressed.
system. I mean, they're very healthy. They look nice and white. I mean, no bud rot or I mean, no root rot or anything. You look, and I saw
She's an
that.
outdoor girl.
Ah,
She's going to be going in my garden. So I can't do that until, well, I was actually in the garden most of the day today preparing it. It's a lot of work. Um, but she's gonna go in the garden,
yeah, I
but I
saw
can't
that.
do that until June.
And I was like, "Ooh, okay. Well, just like before you put her, you could probably transfer her if she's ready to go into like a bigger pot or something." Oh no, but you're gonna end up putting her on the ground anyway, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I'm just letting her go, and yeah, she's gonna be a little crowded for a little bit.
nice. What size of pot is she in right now?
I think it's a 5 gallon.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Usually I start in 7, but I needed space
Dang.
to because I'm growing a few little ones for friends, just 'cause I'm only growing in there for the outdoor garden. I'm not growing these two, you
Indoor.
know. yeah, I just want 4 really good plants to put in my garden, and that's what I'm
Okay.
aiming for.
Well, you're definitely going the right way, man. That's the best thing for those who don't know. The best thing to do is start your plants inside, get them nice and healthy, and then acclimate them outside, which means that you need to put it outside for like first day, I'd say maybe an hour, maybe 20 minutes, and then take it out of the sun and then put it back in the sun, take it out of the sun because the sun is very strong on the plants. They're not used to it when they come from these artificial lights that we have.
No,
Um,
for sure.
yeah, there's. I had this male that popped up, and I wanted to get some of the pollen because I've never done a breeding before. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna put him outside. But it's a male, so I don't really give a fuck about it. So I was just like, throw him out there. And yeah, they bleached all the leaves, bleached up. It was fucking bad,
Oops.
but it worked though. It started just yesterday. I cut it down to try to get some pollen, and I didn't get no pollen, so I just threw it out. Um,
Okay,
but he snapped back. It took a week or two, but it snapped back.
love it.
Oh, what? Ooh, when are you sending the Mary cake into flower?
She's going to be in the sunshine, so as soon
Oh,
as the sunshine wants to take her out, then she's, yeah.
and how much time do you guys get over there in Canada for flowering season?
It's really hard. It's so we've taken a few years ago, the first year I think I grew online. I know we cut them too early now. At the time I didn't know that, but they weren't good. There was a lot, but it just really wasn't good smoke. But that was probably the end of September, a little bit into October. We get frost here in October. So it becomes, with my plants, they're 8.5 feet tall. So covering them at night is a pain in the ass. Like, we have to like take, at least 2 people with this big piece of plastic, put it over that, worry about breaking all the colas off because
Yeah.
they're like sticking out of the trellis. Um, but the weed is so much better if you can keep it longer. So and I don't tend to like um my like weed into that, like over the amount of time. I don't like it when the
The
trichomes are
tactile.
overly amber.
Yeah.
I do like it on the clearer, or not the clearer side, the cloudier side. But here it's hard to get that until October, or even into November. It was not last year, but the year before. I even harvested into November, and it was good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I was thinking because there is that the manipulation technique that you can do where you cover the plant, right? You cover earlier in the year to get that flower going, but then you have to do it every day, same time.
I
Uh,
know.
and if you got 8 foot plants, fuck, you got to build a whole fucking slab thing to go over it, and
That's it.
yeah, that's got to be a little
Yeah.
frustrating. Um,
I've thought of that before, the light deprivation, and it's just what you just said. It became so overwhelming when you thought about it. I'm like, there's no way we can build a wall. You'd have to build a wall. So no, not.
yeah, and it wouldn't be worth it unless you're doing many plants, and even if you were doing many plants, it would just take so much time, so much effort. I'm sure there's some people out there, the engineer backgrounds, or just some smart stoners that could figure it out, you know.
Absolutely. Oh, I bet. I'm sure. Yeah.
Uh, Somebody's got to
Let us
get
know
on
if
that.
you have any ideas, people.
Let us know, man. Put it in the comments down on the YouTube page. You already know. Um, so the Mary cake is going to be outdoor. So all the rest of your plants are going to be outdoor. Are you doing any indoors?
Just the I'm gonna grow. Okay, I'm gonna grow the hydroponic grow
Oh
in
yeah.
a bit. When I get that up and going, that'll be like within the month. I'm gonna have that up and going. I'm gonna grow outlaw genetics in that. I think,
You know what
just
strand?
because no,
Okay.
I don't. I know they're sending me some new stuff right now, so I'm hoping to try out something new. I think one is called maybe orange cookies. I think, but it's one of the ones I've had before. Some derivative of it, maybe like a Mary Berry, maybe partly Mary Berry. Anyway, looking forward to trying something new.
Nice. What do you prefer? Do you prefer auto flowers or photo periods?
Definitely photos. I've grown autos just because I wanted to grow in the tent and just to see if I could do it. So this is actually my first grow that I have in there No, it's not. I'm totally lying. That one just happened. The
Yeah.
last grow I did was my first photo grow with the grow off. Um, and that was the first time I ever had a chance to switch lights because I've always grown autos. So that was a lot of fun to do that. Um, I'm just impatient. I'm a really impatient person. So autos are just kind of fun,
Yeah.
but I've never really enjoyed them after the fact. So I just probably don't have a really good one that I've tried yet.
So I feel that that's one thing that, for those who don't know, auto flower means that it's going to automatically flower. Okay, so once it gets to a certain age, the plant is a ruderalis tab. There's indica sativa and ruderalis, right? The ruderalis is that type to where it's just going to automatically flower. It says that when it thinks it's ready, it's going to start flowering and it's going to do its thing. And it's really good for new growers and people who have never done it before to see how this plant does its thing, right? Because it's fast, you get buds, you get fat nugs too. Always with the autoflower, you'll get big old fucking colas, and that makes me feel really good to get those colas. But on the other side, on photo periods, means that the sun is how it's dictated. So what we're doing is usually in the summertime, it'd be summertime. I'm thinking, yeah, it'd be spring, yeah, it'd be 16 and 8, right? Yeah, 16 hours on and 18 hours on, 6 hours off. There you go. Um, and then when you want to switch it to flower, you turn it to 12 hours on, 12 hours off. That's a photo period plant. And then it'll start to bud. So basically, you have control of when you're going to turn this plant into flower, right? And that's what I think that we kind of godlike. We like that. I like it. I like to be able to be like, all right, now you're ready to turn into flower, right? Instead of the plant
That's
doing
right.
it.
Yeah.
Um, And on that note, autoflowers are faster, but for me, I haven't found the terpene or the taste. I don't think the smoke is the same. Would you feel the same?
Exactly. And that's why I don't really, yeah, that's why I don't really choose to grow them right now. Because
Yeah.
I haven't enjoyed what I've grown for autos.
Yeah, and the technology and the time is moving, and so some genetics are starting to make the move to get better autoflowers to where the taste comes out better, the smoke's better and all that. And I'm sure I heard like Fast Buds have really good autoflowers, and there's some other companies out there. So highly suggest anybody going out there and trying an autoflower. I'm not going to put it down. I'm just going to say it's different than photoperiod.
Have you heard of something called, it's not an auto and it's not a photo period, but it's something in between?
Is it the triploid or something like that? No.
I don't know. I can't remember what it, but there's something that I'm just hoping it's like maybe a faster flowering. I want to know more about this anyway. It's um,
Semi-flower?
semi,
I haven't heard of that, but if anybody has, put it in the comments so we could put that in another topic because that'd be really cool. Do you mean like a faster flowering photo period?
I think so. I think it is, but it's like I still think it's, I, yeah, I don't know. I want to know more.
We want to
Put
know
it in the
more.
comments, people. I
Yeah,
want to know
everybody, let
more.
us know what it was because that sounds hella cool. Is the crazy train? That's the one that is a beast in there, and you're
Yes, I
gonna be
love her.
putting beautiful plant. Do you know what the cross is on that?
No,
No.
no, I don't.
Okay,
No.
I think that would be sounds like Midnight Train cross with. I don't know about the crazy. That's weird. Okay, so what was the last? Okay, so I saw one of your posts. You posted your last harvest was a semi successful, right? What made that semi successful?
Okay, so I was in a grow off. I grew 5 plants just for the grow off. I was growing other plants as well, Mary Cake and anyway, a few other plants as well. My grow off plants just wouldn't freaking grow. They just wouldn't freaking grow. We flowered them early. We flipped early, like really early. I can't remember. I can't remember. It might have been 8 weeks. I don't know, but
A veg?
it was yeah. So it was
Okay.
really, they started really tiny. Um, but I could just not get those plants to grow. So when I harvested them, I don't think I got an ounce off 5 plants
Five
together.
plants?
I don't know what I did. I just don't know what happened that time. I felt like I was cursed that grow. But then, I thought there was something wrong with my light. And I think I don't even like to say this out loud because I know a lot of people will jump on me for saying this, but my plants needed CalMag.
Yeah.
And as soon as I started giving them CalMag, my plants are just beautiful now.
Yeah. No, don't let nobody jump on you for that. That's what fucking sometimes you need that shit. You need CalMag, and it's really an important additive to some plants, man. Some plants just need CalMag, and some plants need more nitrogen too during flower. Some of them will need people are gonna be like, no, never put nitrogen during flower, but sometimes you need it. I've had one plant that once I added a little bit of nitrogen, the fucking yellowing stopped. So I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly that. Yeah, I know.
Well, I would say that even if you got just an ounce, it was still a successful grow because you got it to the curing process. You know what I mean?
That's right. And well, and another thing that happened is the two other, like the other plants that I had in there, they were doing so beautiful. And then all of a sudden, one day, they just went limp. And I'll always trellis now, but I didn't even think about that before.
Oh,
Um, so I really had to cut them down a little prematurely. But some of it was I've grown outdoors a lot and a lot of weed, but it was some of the best weed I've grown. So I was really happy with that. Like some of it was really super good, but those limp crazy plants just kind of, and they were all right.
yeah. I coined the term floppage. Yeah,
Profit.
yeah. That's my term there, everybody. You can have it if you could use it.
I'm gonna use it.
I deal with floppage all the time. My fucking nugs are too heavy and they just plump over. Lots of people say that you need silica. Silica, silica, silica.
I use silica. I do use silica.
See, I use silica sometimes too, and it still happened to me, which I think it is just you got fat fucking nugs, man. Your fucking nugs are so big that
We're just that good.
you're just too good, right? Maybe the plant should have tried harder.
Oh, love that.
um, I deal with that all the time. I got mad floppage. So one product, there's a bunch of products for that. There's either the trellis, right? Which I don't like the trellis because there's no room for me to get it. I
That's
can't,
it. Yes, I know.
I can't get the trellis under there. So there's the umbrella trellis. Have you heard of this one? Oh, you haven't heard of the umbrella trellis? Once again, I gotta put somebody on the umbrella trellis. So the umbrella trellis was made by Josh. He's on here on Instagram. I'll probably tag him on here if I remember to. But it's an umbrella that is a trellis. And so it goes like this and it holds the bottom tier and you could stack it up as many tiers as you want, right? It goes up to 3 tiers, 4, 5. He says infinity, so as many, but with I think two of them, it looks perfect. It just holds all the plants up and it's perfectly, and you could take the whole plant and you could move it over to the side and you could get your head in there to do everything. It's just a great product. I highly recommend everybody to go check them out.
I
Um,
hope you tag him because I'd love to see this.
there's a couple of videos that I made of the umbrella trellis, like pulling it out and
Okay.
showing it. There's one part that I'm missing, otherwise I would have it on my plants. I'm waiting on him to get his parts done or whatever, and then he's gonna send me the part so that I can get it back into my tent and so that everybody could see how this works. Um, until then, in the meanwhile, I'm using yo-yo hangers. Have you ever heard of these?
Oh, I've heard of yo-yo hangers. Okay.
Those ones are pretty cool because it's just a string, comes down, holds the buds up, boom, there you go. Still got room for you. You just got to do a little dodging of the wires and shit so they don't cut you. Well, they're not going to cut you, but it's
This is sharp wires.
yeah, it's just like fishing line. So it's not going to cut you, but they're really cool. Those work. But I highly suggest checking out the umbrella trellis. Um,
Okay.
that thing is stupid cool. And I think it's just cool that you could be able to move the plant out and still be trellised, you know?
Yeah, I like that a lot.
Very, very cool product. Um, how was your 420? I saw your post that you were just chilling out there smoking.
It was rather, yeah, I actually had a friend come visit that day and she doesn't smoke. So it wasn't I enjoyed it. I
It
enjoyed
wasn't
it a
as
lot. With my kids. I've got like all of my kids are older and yeah, we enjoyed it
So it
together.
wasn't as stony as you would like it to be, but it
It wasn't as exciting, but I did make an excuse to smoke weed all day long, which is nothing new at all. But
yeah.
yeah,
I was
I
kinda
didn't feel
like
guilty about it. Maybe I don't know.
yeah, I was kinda like, it's a normal day. I mean, my
Yes.
brother-in-law, he's really cool. He takes a nug from every sack that he gets all year, right? All year, he takes one nug from every sack, puts it in one bag, and then on 420, we fucking load every pipe that he has and just keeps it going.
That's the
Oh,
best
dude,
idea.
it's so gangster, and it's you get too high, all right? I don't like to
Love
say
it.
it, but you get too fucking high, all right? Just, there's a point where you got to be like, hey, all right, like I know that a lot of people will be like telling me that no, 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 you can never have enough weed, but there's such thing as enough weed, okay? And that day right there,
That
and
was enough.
that's enough, yes, and it's a good thing he feeds you because he'll feed you too, so that you're like stoned and eating. And it's just a great day.
I'm sorry. He sounds like the absolute perfect brother-in-law. I gotta say.
He's pretty good. He's pretty cool. I do like him. James, huge shout out to you, man. I actually got him growing. They had been growing. They got a little bit of experience growing, but they had never done it really big uh in a tent and at the house. So I gave him a light, gave him a tent, and boom, he's already had two harvests now, and he's dealing
Wow.
with all the fucking the IPM regimens. He has aphids one time. He had a hermaphrodite plant. He had foxtailing. Like the guy's had it all. So he's going. That's pretty funny. Um. Oh, the so I saw on one of your posts that you had two little babies and you called it cannabis, or that and you put on on your caption. You're like, look, I looked up the word. It's a real word, and I was like laughing my ass off because I couldn't understand. Like, what is it? Was that supposed to be like they're twins?
What was that? I almost want to look that up right now. I think that was my I
Cannabis?
that I can't
Cannabis?
even remember this. I think it could have been the plant that was coming up. Was it the one that was coming up like a V out of nowhere?
It looked like two little babies. It might have been a V. Yeah, it might have been a V. I can't remember. Might have been two things.
Oh,
I
I'm
don't know.
sorry, I can't
We'll
remember
catch that
that.
next time. I knew that question. I was
Yeah.
like, that's kind of weird question to ask, but I'm gonna ask it. So the pink grapefruit cola that looked dank.
Yeah, she
Um,
was. It was beautiful.
was that an autoflower?
It was not. No, that's the one that was in the grow off,
Oh,
and it was that was just one. I know it looked exactly like a damn autoflower.
that was
All
a
of them looked like
huge cola.
autoflowers.
That's
She was beautiful, but that was it.
that. Oh, that was it. It just looked nice. It didn't smoke well.
No, I haven't smoked. I've smoked a little bit and it was actually quite nice, but I'm sending it into them soon. And like I said, I've got under an ounce, so I don't want to smoke any because there won't be enough to send in. So I need to give them my best buds.
Nice, nice. What are the terps on that? What did it taste like?
Um, I haven't given it a fair shake yet, so I don't want to say.
Okay.
Other people were saying it was like really smelly when it was growing, but I really liked the smell of it when it was growing. It was
What did
like
it smell
super
like?
sweet.
Did it smell pungent, sweet?
You know what? I'm going to tell you about like what we're talking about right now is just making me kind of giggle because before supper, my one of my kids and their girlfriend was over, and we had two jars of weed. One I probably grew 2 years ago that just smells like damn dill pickles, I think. But and another one, and one was really anyway. We were smelling them, and we're like, "Can you tell the difference?" And I'm like, "No." And you know what? I think we should have a terpene course where we have scratch and sniffs and to learn about them because I hate it when people ask me, what does it smell like? What does it taste like? Weed.
Smells like bud, man. Shit.
Really good, bud. But I mean, if you like the taste. Usually I tell people I like the limonene
Lemony?
terpenes. I like lemon. I like any of the lemon ones that I smoke because I like the flavor of it. But if you were to give me three and say which one tastes like lemon without it being labeled, I don't know if I'd be able to tell you that.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So you're more citrus, citrus
Yes.
taste. Okay. I I put it real basic. Like it's either dank, it's either fruity pebbles, dank, or like pungent, or like orange tangerine taste sometimes
Oh,
too.
okay.
And I don't like those ones. I don't like the tangerine. I don't really like the lion lemon, the citrus one
Okay.
too. I'm more of a dank, sweet, and pungent. Pungent is a real new one to me. I didn't like the pungent, but now I associate pungent with fucking stoneness. So like I liked it. This last one that I grew was a triple crown, and it was very pungent. Just like kind of bad breath smell with a little bit of weed. So it was like, yeah,
Was it
yeah,
head hitting? Was it like head hitting?
yes, very, very stony shit, head hitting. Like you smoke that, and you're just thinking for 20 minutes, you know.
Okay.
And
That's what I like. I like those ones that like take my head to other places.
yeah, which is more indica. It's indica leaning is how I would put that. There was some
Really? I
sativas.
thought it would have been the opposite.
Yeah, some sativas do that too. It's weird
Okay.
because everything now is hybrid. There, I guess supposedly there's not just fucking sativa and indica anymore because everything's been
Okay.
just crossbreeded, and this with this makes OG Chem, which is Kush with fucking Chem Dog or something. You know, there's just so many different like. If you really think about it, all the crossing that us humans have done with this cannabis plant, like, is fucking amazing because like there's so many different variations. Sweet, just God, it's mind blowing, guys. Mind blowing.
It
Um,
really, really is.
it's pretty crazy.
And I think sometimes when we talk about indica and sativa, I mean, I know there's one or the other, but I think when you harvest the plant, gives you a lot of the whatever effects you want from the plant. You can harvest it at a certain time to achieve that.
Yeah,
Um, so if you really want those couch lock, you're gonna wait a little longer, but so I don't really care what I'm growing. I don't tend to grow. No, I shouldn't say that. If I know I've got a sativa, I'm gonna pop it. But the truth be told, no matter what you pop, you can get what you want from it. If you
yeah,
you know, I
yeah.
think anyway.
I had seen this plant where somebody, it was like on the internet, but somebody had let it grow way past its fucking date. Like the whole plant was amber. Like all the trichomes, like it wasn't no 30%, it was like 90% amber.
Yeah.
And I was like, yo, that fucking thing has got to like lock you in place. You take one of them hits, just done.
Yeah,
I
can see
kind of,
that.
I'm so curious about that. I kind of want to try that. Do you think you would ever try that inside? Obviously,
Yeah, yeah, because outside it would just freeze and
yeah, it
die.
wouldn't work outside.
Yeah, I'd be interested to try that. Just I'm wondering if you do that, does it kill the medicine after a certain amount? Like you'd have to really get that certain
Yeah,
like
yeah, because
time, right?
that's a good question, man. I wish I knew it.
Yeah,
There,
we got to try that now, just to
yeah,
know, right? It's worth it to try it.
we need more research out here. We need research and just to be able to ask the question, Google, hey Google, if I put fucking trichomes at 90%, am I gonna get more stone? And it'd be like yes or no, you know? Like it's coming, but one of these days we'll get there.
Yeah,
Cancel.
true.
Sorry, my Google was hearing me. So how
Oh
did
my
the
goodness. Oh, I won't tell you that right now. Yeah.
what are you saying? What's up?
No, I don't even know if I can say it because one night I was in my living room and I said somebody on TV was like I don't know if it was like some
Oh
cops gone bad videos and somebody said, "Hey, call 911."
yeah.
And my
Oh
phone picked that up.
yeah.
And
No,
I
it's
was
happened to
called.
me before too. Yeah, I was
Okay.
watching a show and some shit like that happened, and I was like, "What the? No, no, no!
I know, and you don't know what to do. Your
Yeah,
phone
cancel,
stopped.
cancel." They call back. Are you okay? Yes, it was just my Google.
Oh Lord.
So the muffin berries. That sounds delicious.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And we already talked about your preferred terpenes, but was that more of a berry tasting one? Do you know?
Um, I find all of the outlaw ones that I've had that have the berry in it do have a sweet taste to them. Yeah, and
Okay.
you can smell it, like the sweetness when you open it for sure.
Beautiful.
I can
Good job.
smell that. Yeah.
How long do
I
you
think that would be like a fruity pebbles smell that you're
yeah,
talking about. Maybe that's what I'm smelling.
that's what I'm talking about, that fruity pebble
Yeah.
smell, man. That's the fucking one I love. I love that. Runts smells a little like fruity pebbles. That shit is delicious.
Oh, I'm growing a lot of runts right now. I've got gorilla runts in my tent,
Um,
and I'm hoping they're all they're not feminized though, so I'm just waiting on them to see what happens with them.
yeah. How long do you cure for?
Um, I dry for about 2 weeks, not quite 2 weeks, and then I cure for I don't know. It's got to be a month now that I've been um, airing out those jars
Burping
now.
them? Yeah, I heard
Yeah.
that you only have to burp them for like a week, and then after that, you don't open it again. But
Oh, thank you.
yeah, that's up to
I didn't know
everybody.
that.
That's up to everybody else's preference. If you want to open it, you can open it. If not, you know, do what
No, I
you.
like these. I like hearing this. Okay.
Yeah. Supposedly, you burp it for the first couple days. You burp like once a day, twice a day, or whatever, and then the week, then you give it a couple days without burping it, and then you burp it one more time, and then after like I think it's maybe a week or two, then you don't fucking burp it at all. You just leave it closed, and
I
then
like this.
yeah, once and then
Okay.
once it after that month, ooh man, you open that fucking thing and it just, ooh, just dankity, man. You could tell the difference after not opening it because
Good to know.
you kind of like remember what it smelled like before you open, like on the last time that you opened it, right? And then you fucking pop it open, and you're like, damn,
That's good stuff.
that's some good shit right there, man. Damn. So how did the grow off go?
I'm still. It's over now. Oh my goodness, people did an amazing job. Like the other contestants did an amazing job at growing. Sorry, there's action going on my phone right now. Um, it has to be sent in by the 24th. So right now I'm just like waiting to get my samples
In
in.
yeah.
Yeah, so I'll have those in by this weekend.
So the samples, what do they mean by samples? By like just what are they testing? Are they testing like your THC? Or are they testing your terps or
They're testing it all. So there's I think 3 judges that are gonna be smoking it. I think, and also it's being sent in for
for testing
analysis. I guess.
analysis?
Yeah,
Nice.
which is
Nice.
kind of fun because I've never had a plant do that. I'm not overly excited that it's this plant doing that, just because I think I could have done so much better. But I learned a lot.
Hold on one second. I gotta let my dog out real quick. Hold
Right, no worries.
on. The dog gets its shot. My dog is diabetic, so she gets a shot at 5 o'clock on the dot, and she knows
Oh my,
exactly when 5 o'clock is coming. It's crazy.
that's awesome.
Because we give her a treat. We give her a trees to give her a shot, and so she wants that fucking treat.
For sure. Oh my goodness, that's adorable.
So, what are your thoughts on the rescheduling of cannabis?
What's that?
What are your thoughts on the rescheduling of cannabis here in the States? Like, because over here, I know you're in Canada, so you don't have to deal with it because it's federally legal over there. But over here, there has been a prohibition on cannabis like crazy for all these years. And now that this rescheduling has happened, there's a lot of people out there who are still angry because they don't even want it on the schedule list. And there's a lot of
Right.
people, well, there's only a few people like me who are saying, like, it takes forever for this government to do anything. We need to take our little bit of wins when we can, man. And yes, it's still in there with steroids, and yes, it's still classified as bad, but not as bad as fucking heroin and all this shit that it was before, right? Which is just ridiculous that it could be scheduled with heroin, right? But we need to take our little wins that we can. That's how I feel. Do you have any thoughts on
Yeah.
it?
I really don't like. I mean, I when people were worried here when legalization happened because it was going to be taken away from you know the
Small
people
time.
that were so politely selling it to me before that, um, and I was worried that they were going to make tougher laws. So when it came to driving or when it came to just buying it illegally, but I it's so lax here that I think you guys will eventually get there, because I think nothing of. I was standing at a bar. I'd say it was just before COVID, and I was standing at a bar one night and smoking a joint in the lineup because I was cocky, and I was like, I'm just gonna smoke a joint. Well, there's a cop standing there looking at me, and I was like, oh shit. And he came up and he goes, I'm sorry, but can you just leave the line and go to the road? I'm like, sure, okay. And I did. I don't know why I was so brazen that night, but yeah, I like that. It's pretty cool, and I think your country will eventually get there too, because it's just accepted. People's opinions. My parents are in their late 70s, and neither of them have ever smoked. And I'm pretty sure that is the honest to God truth. But they're very accepting of
Cannabis.
like us and their grandkids smoking now,
Nice. Good, man. I feel like the stigma is changing. The stigma of cannabis, especially in Canada, like everybody's just like, man, get out of here with that. It's just fucking weed, which it should have been like from the beginning. There's a story that I had. I was in over here in Washington. We went recreational, I think in 2017, maybe 16, something like that. Um, but in Vegas, they went recreational and they just went hard. And so now they're smoking and shit. And like I was smoking right next to a cop. We're blazing up. And the cop was rolling by, and
Yeah.
I'm just like sitting there, just like thinking how cool this is now that we don't have to fucking trip. We don't have to feel like we're doing something wrong. And like, but there are still states here in the States, like Texas and all these other states that are just, man, they still want to kick down people's doors and be like taking away people's kids for fucking weed, man. It's incredible.
Disappointing. I went to Texas last year for a work conference,
Actually,
and
hold on one second. I think I need to take that back because they did federally decriminalize it, so it shouldn't be kicking down doors and shit like that. Anyway, but anyways, back to your story.
but it's still there's still a stigma attached to it because they're not used to it yet. Anyway, yeah, I went to Texas, and I remember I wanted weed. I wanted weed really bad, and then I remember looking before I went at like what the law was, and I'm like, I am not going to be looking for weed when I'm there, because that shit scares me.
Yeah,
Now
man.
I could go to Mexico, and I don't feel bad about finding it there because they're pretty lax when it comes to that. So I don't
Yeah.
know. Some of your states are a little
They're a
sticky.
little, man, they're a little crazy, man. They be tripping and shit. And it's like, I drove by South Dakota, and South Dakota's laws are all fucked up, and I'm medically legal to have it. So, like, I took some weed with me because I was like, yo, I need my fucking medicine and shit. But I was paranoid the whole time. Like, oh my God, if something happens, it's just going to be like these people just tripping out over like weed. It'd be like back in the days. And I just don't want to go anywhere where they're going to be tripping on weed like that.
No, no. I agree.
So what are you? We only got about 3 minutes left, but I wanted to tap in here and see what any tips that you have for new growers.
Just don't be afraid to try it. Just don't be afraid to try it. You'll grow more plants in your life. So if you kill one, like it happens. It happens, and just grow again.
Good,
You
that's a
know,
good one. Because there's a
play
lot of
with them.
people.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that when they kill one, they just don't. They just want to give up. And it's
right.
can't give up, guys. It's too easy. Actually, it's not that easy, but
It's not, but and try new things, like whether you're topping or trellising or whatever. You're gonna find a method that works for you. And just because the person that you see on Instagram isn't doing what you're doing, or they're doing something different, doesn't mean what you're doing is wrong either.
exactly. Everybody has their own growth, man. There's so many variables into this growing thing, man. So many fucking variables that I feel like there's no way that we all could do the same thing, keep it the same. And on top of it, we really don't want that. We don't want people to be the same and shit. We want everybody to find their own ways, find out how you grow, but also to the new growers, be weary, be careful, be ready for the side seat grower. There's always somebody out there that's gonna be like, "Hey, man, you're doing it wrong. Do it like this," and it's like, yo, relax. It's like this is my grow, not yours.
Yes, yeah, I've had a couple of those.
Yeah, you have. Okay, so you know all about
Just a
that.
couple.
So my last question for the interview: what do you think is the future of the cannabis industry?
I think if it continues like it is, it's just going to get bigger and better. I think people are going to keep trying to make it more potent. Hopefully not ruining the plant, because I've heard I don't know what I was listening to the other day, but something about some plants getting some disease that are is like happening in California plant industry. I don't know if this is, I'm just, did I dream this or not? Now I'm embarrassed to even say that. But um, I think people are just going to, I mean, yeah, I think it's just going to grow and
I think
help
I
people.
really think that the stigma is gonna fade away, and when it does, it's just gonna be like another fucking a commodity economy. What's the word? Just like alcohol. Like it's gonna be another
Sure,
thing to where they're just packaging up and selling, which of course is always gonna lead to corruption, and there's room for corruption and shit. Because
absolutely.
wherever the money is, there's gonna be corruption. We just know that, and that's the way it is.
But we are different
Yeah.
because in Canada, I kind of feel like that right now. I don't feel like I'm not embarrassed. I was embarrassed for years being that mom that smoked dope, but now I'm more like, it could be the Instagram thing too, but I'm more proud of it. Yeah, look at me.
Yeah, yeah, you're a fucking influencer now. Or you're a weed influencer. There you go.
A weed influencer,
The weed
exactly.
influencer.
Content creator.
Yeah. Okay, so we're up into our hour mark, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for coming on to the show. You killed it. You're an amazing grower. Everybody, make sure to go check out Angie High in Paradise. She is fucking just killing it out there, man. I want to congratulate you. Good job.
Thank you. And thank you for having me and being so kind, because you know how nervous I am. I'm down here wringing my hands and sweating a little. And I appreciate how easy this was to talk to you.
Thank you.
And thanks for all you do for the community.
Thank you, thank you. I'm doing the same thing over here. You don't see me, but I'm like this too, man.
Good. I'm
So,
going to smoke a joint now. How is that?
yes, you go ahead, smoke a joint and go chill. I will have this uploaded to YouTube here pretty soon. And once again, thank you so much for coming on. It was very nice to interview you. And
Thank you so much.
I'll probably have you on. I'll be sending messages here down the road when I go through all the people, and then we'll do part two. And yeah, well, hopefully you won the grow off by then, huh?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, we'll talk to you later. Have a good day.
Nice talking to you. Have a
Thanks,
great night.
guys. And chat,
Bye.
make sure to tap in for the next episode of CannaConvos next week. All right, thanks.